Okay, a quick review for CBA1. You will have your CBA1 test. I believe I'm planning on doing it next Tuesday. It might be Friday. I'll let you know for sure. Um, but I'm leaning towards next Tuesday. Okay, so first, one of the biggest things, chemical properties, physical properties. Remember, a property is a fact. It's normally going to say something is, something has. It has a boiling point. It is red. So properties, usually it's a fact. So it usually says is or has. Changes is something is happening. So something is happening in a change. That means it normally ends in ing, sometimes ed. It changed from to. So that tells you that that was some sort of a change. Uh, so physical, or it's just what it looks like. These are its physical, what it looks like, how does it behave to some degree. Our chemical properties are how is it going to react with others. Okay, so our physical change would be going from one phase to another. So if it's melting, is a physical change. However, melting point is a property. And I think on the last test, because I told y'all to look for the ing, and that tells you that it's a change. But remember, this isn't a verb. This is an adverb describing this noun. And the question was normally, has a melting point of. So again, that goes to this has word. So make sure you watch for that. Usually your changes are going to end to ing with the exception of melting and boiling points. Uh, so physical, it's red is our physical property. Uh, a physical change would be melting, changing phases, rip it in half. Those are physical changes. A chemical change would be combustion, burning, an explosion, digestion. Okay, chemical properties are things like pH, whether it's toxic or not, whether it's corrosive. Sometimes to know that it's a chemical property, it says will react with. Anytime you see that, that's telling me how it's going to behave with others. Uh, so make sure that if you see how is it going to react with others, it's a property. Uh, changing, uh, we start with one compound, we end up with another one. Okay, so within physical properties, within our descriptions, and our physical properties are just our descriptions, we have two types, intensive and extensive. Intensive does not change with the amount of matter. And what this means is if I have a pile of feathers and I take away half of them, the mass has changed. So mass is not an intensive property. Their density is, because the density is not going to change. The volume may change, the mass may change, but that proportion stays the same. So density is always an intensive property. Boiling point. For water or any liquid to reach the boiling point, whether I have a teaspoon or I have 6 liters, they still have to reach the boiling point for water that's 100 degrees Celsius. Now, it may take more energy to get the larger mass up there, but they still have to reach that temperature. So that boiling point, doesn't matter how much there is, it still has to be 100 degrees Celsius before it will boil. So extensive does matter. Or it changes as the amount. So mass, like we were talking about with the feathers. If I take away half, my mass is going to change. If I take a piece of paper and I rip it in half, then it is going to, the length is going to change. However, it's still white, so the color is still the same. But the mass changed, the length changed. So if it changes, if I cut the amount by any amount or add more, then it's extensive. If it does not change, if that property does not change when I add or subtract something, then it's intensive. Okay, quick recap on volume. Y'all should all know volume, or y'all should all know the characteristics of your states of matter. Solids have a fixed volume and a fixed shape. I can't change that much. Liquids have a fixed volume, but they do not have a fixed shape. Whatever I pour my water into, it's going to take the shape of its container. A gas does not have a fixed volume, and it does not have a fixed shape. It will take the shape of its container, and it will take up one atom, if you give it a big enough container, can take up the whole container all by itself. So gases have no definitive shape or volume. I can compress them. Most are highly compressible. So like scuba tanks, that's how you can get 30 minutes of air or an hour's worth of air in one small tank. Um, Propane for like gas grills, it's the same thing. They can compress that air down into a smaller container so that you can get quite a bit of gas into the small container. Okay, so here's another term we did not talk about. Accuracy is how close to the actual are you getting? How close to the target are you getting? Precision is how close your trials are together. So if I take measurements and I get very close to the same measurements every single time, then I was precise. If I was actually measuring, and when you're trying to get equipment to work right, when you're measuring, you can be precise. You'll get the exact same measurements every time. But if your scales weren't tailored properly, then your accuracy might not be right. You're not getting actually close to the target. So let's talk about, so if it's accurate and precise, let's see, change this to purple. Then your bullseyes are all going to be close to the target. So that is accurate and precise. If it's accurate and not precise, then it means I'm going to be kind of close to the center, but my groupings are going to be, some may be kind of far down. So these are not close together, but they are kind of close to our target. So we can be accurate but not precise. To be not accurate and precise, you'll get a grouping. If you've ever shot bows and arrows, or if you've ever shot a shotgun, if your scope is not just perfect, you can hit the same spot, but it's not what you were aiming for because it was not accurate. And then you can have not accurate and not precise. And that means nothing's close together, nothing's close to the target, nothing's where it needs to be. Okay, let's go back up here for just a second and look at, and remember, solids are low energy. Think of ice as a solid, low energy. Gases are high energy. So when you see the steam going off into the air, it's moving quickly. So it has high energy. Um, Accuracy and precision. And there was one more concept I thought we needed, but I will go ahead and wrap this up now. If you have any questions, let me know. I will hopefully be there on Thursday to review one more time with you. You have a quizzes to do, so please make sure you get that done for the grade. And I will talk to you soon. Have a good week.